Hey everybody out there, it's time to duel, and today for you guys we're going to be doing a deck profile of a deck that's been something that I created a couple of years ago, and I've been playing with it for a while now, and over the course of the last 5 months or so I have been replaying the deck, retooling the deck with all the new hero support that's come out recently. And that is my Silent Hero deck. This was a deck that I created years ago, like I said, and it's really fun. Back in the day, optimally what you wanted to get out was a silent swordsman with masked hero Darklaw out in the field. Nowadays, with all the new support of Stratos coming back, Solid Man being a card, and just with new cards coming out, like I said, over the last 5 months or so, I've been play testing this deck and just having fun with it. I've played multiple different hero versions of decks throughout the years, be it Masked Heroes Pure, be it, you know, the vanilla heroes, be it D heroes, be it the new Neo-Spatian support. Like, I've played multiple different hero variations throughout the years, but by far this is my favorite variation of heroes. The fact that you get to use Silent Swordsman, which is actually a pretty good card, and you also get to use the hero engine is just so freaking fun. And this deck I thoroughly enjoy playing, but without further ado, we'll get into this deck profile of this deck that I've created and played with for years now. So let's get to and talk about one of the main boss, quote-unquote boss monsters of the deck, and that is Silent Swordsman. Technically, you do have 4 copies of this card in your deck because you do have Reinforcement of the Army, which can be anything. So you have 4 copies of this card in your deck. So what does this card do? Well, during either player's turn, you get to negate a spell card. So if your opponent sets, you're playing against Sky Strikers and they set their Widow Anchor, pass to your turn, they try to Widow Anchor your field, you can negate it. You can negate that one Widow Anchor, which is kind of nice, and it's won me duels just because I'm able to negate Widow Anchors when I play against Sky Strikers. But it also, just against decks, that's a lot of decks out there that have very key spells that they need to get off, you can just negate them straight up. And like I said, you can do it during either player's turn once per turn. The other cool thing about this card is doing each of, I believe it is the end phases, if I remember correctly. Yep. This card gains 500 attack once per turn doing the standby phase. That's doing your standby phase and your opponent's standby phase. So that is really awesome. This guy can get big really fast. And I mean, I've seen this guy sometimes get up to 5,000 plus attack. Just because he stays on the field so long, they don't have an out for him, and he just keeps building up and building up and building up attack. And then when they get rid of Silent Swordsman, then you're able to bring out the big guy, Silent Swordsman level 7, and you're able to say to your opponent, hey, no spells. And I would love to see, love to see, and I've won games with it because the Sky Striker player thinks, oh, I get around this, I'll be fine. And then they see a Silent Swordsman level 7 hit the field, and they kind of go, oh, great. Now all my spell cards are dead. So I've done that a couple times, and it's kind of fun. It's not as fun as bringing Horse level 8 out, but I love my level monsters, and this is one of the best ones out there. So you're able to drop that on them. So how do you get level 7 out is probably your main question. Well, I'm going to read that to you, how you get this out. So you can special, if this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner's control is destroyed by opponent's card effect, which is awesome. So if it's destroyed by any means necessary, alright, battle, card effect, what have you, you can special summon one Silent Swordsman monster from your hand or deck, except Silent Swordsman, ignoring the summoning conditions. Silent Swordsman is what they're referring to, is you can't special summon another one of these, but you can special summon this, which is awesome. And what does Silent Swordsman level 7 do? This card, you're ignoring the summoning conditions when you're using this effect to bring this out, by the way. As long as this card remains face up on the field, negate the effects of all spell cards on the field. So literally half the Sky Striker deck is dead right there when you bring this bad boy out. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let's get into the rest of the deck now. I just wanted to go over why this guy is so good and why we run them in the deck. 2 Silent Swordsman level 7 Now you could get away with running 1, but I always seem to go through 2 per duel. Does it brick? Yes, but it's really essential because you want this guy to stay out in the field. I've had people run over 1, and then I'm like, yeah, I really wish I had a second one on the field. So I really wish I had a second one in deck. So I would say 50% of the time I go for 2 of them per duel. Sometimes I just go for 1. It just depends upon my matchup. But I always seem to go through 2 Silent Swordsman level 7. So you can run 1, you could run 2, up to you. Next we run, let's get into our basic hero engine here. 3 Shadow Mist. Some people may say you just run 2 of this now. I still like it as a 3 of, even though we have Stratos back. But you could either run, you know, it's up to you how you want to play around with this ratio of 2 Shadow Mist and 1 Stratos. But I like this ratio of 3 Shadow Mist and the 1 Stratos. But like I said, play around with the ratio if you really want to try to take this deck to a big competitive event. I've been playing this deck at locals for ages now, and it's really, really fun to play. So yeah, definitely you can do that. Play around with that ratio if you want to. 3 Solid Man. He's solid in the deck. You run 3. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, optimally here, this is what you kind of want to do here. And I'll kind of explain this to you. With a 2-card combo that's basic in the deck. Okay, so let's just say we have a Solid Man, all right, and we have a Shadow Mist in our hand, all right. So this is a basic 2 to 3 card combo. Depending upon the ratios, like I said, a lot of these pieces are searchable. Searchable through eCall, searchable through eCall, searchable through Rhoda. Like, these are searchable through Rhoda too. So there's a bunch of different ratios and ways you can get this hand sort out, because you can even search through this through a different means of dumping to your graveyard your Silent Swordsman Slash. So if this is in graveyard, which you can send through Foolish Burial Belongings, this card, okay, Foolish Burial Belongings, send this, search it, and then what you can do is you can search this out. So you have multiple ways of searching this 3-card combo. I've always said I'm never a big fan of 3-card combos, but if they're pretty decent, pretty consistent, heck, they're pretty good then. So what you do here is simple. Normal Summon Solid Man, bring out Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist searches for your Mass Change. So you're going to search for your Mass Change card. Okay, basic stuff here. Then you're going to Tribute off, to Special Summon off your Silent Swordsman. Set your Mass Change on your opponent's turn. You activate Mass Change to bring out Dark Law to the field. So you can search your Mass Change out. This, set it, your opponent's turn, you go off, and then you'll have Dark Law and this on the field, which means you get to stop, you know, banish all their cards, pretty much rip a card out of the hand when they search, and negate a spell card. It's 2 negations. I mean, that's pretty decent, I feel like. And that's not to include that if you got an Ash in hand, you can negate something else. So, yeah, pretty nice, pretty cool. But that's one of the combos I want to show off in the deck. But that's why we run 3 Solid Man. Back in the day, I used to run 3 Goblin Bird, but Solid Man is your Goblin Bird now for the deck, hands down, for the different plays you're going to do. 1 Bubble Man. This is in case you run against back row heavy decks. You can go into Acid and just blow their back row away, especially if you're playing against Altergeist or Paleozoics. It's kind of helpful to some degree. But that's the last element to hero I run, is just 1 Bubble Man for the different plays you can do with him. Now we run these cards, we run a lot of hand traps. We run 6 hand traps, but they're not what you're expecting. So the first hand trap we run is a ratio of this. And you may be saying to yourself, Modern Day Duelist, why are you running these, man? Well, it's pretty simple. This and this are light attribute. Light attribute. Light attribute, light attribute. So people can sometimes run this over because they can go for an Exceed play or something. So when they try to do that, you can be like honest, and they're going to look at you and go, crud, he's too big, I can't get over him, and they're going to have problems. Now the hero Neos I like as a 1 of in the deck because this can help you use with your Dark Law. So you can use the Neos with your Dark Law as an honest. So you're gonna have like mini honest in your deck. Like you're gonna do battle tricks. You're gonna do all this crazy stuff. So the honest, the regular honest, work with the swordsman, Neos works with the heroes in general, but also works with Mass Dark Law if they try to run your Dark Law over. Now, different people out there, like in a standard hero deck, I would probably not even run. I'm not even going to run the Honest. I would probably run double, Neo Honest. But in this hybrid build, I like running this ratio in the deck. So let's continue on with your other hand traps that you run in the deck. We also run triple Ash. Like I said, you sometimes are going to have multiple negations. You'll have an Ash in hand, a Dark Law in hand, and a Silent Swordsman on the board. Your opponent's going to be looking at you going, oh my gosh, I hate my life. I can't search for anything. So, yeah, 3 Ash. 3 E-Call. Staple. Like, you want 3 E-Call. We also run the 1 Rhoda as well because, yeah, so all your searching pieces right here for your heroes, your Silent Magician, whatever have you. Basic stuff. Next up, 3 Mask Change for your different plays you're going to do with your masked heroes and whatnot, your regular heroes. Pretty straightforward. Next up, 3 Call by the Grave. You do a lot of searching when you're trying to set up your boards. You do not want to get negated, so 3 Call by the Grave to protect things. Now, I will say, and it does suck to some degree, is when you get your level 7 out on the field, Call by the Grave kind of becomes dead to you. So you can't use it. It doesn't become as versatile and is not as useful. And a lot of your spell cards are. But usually when you're going to go for the level 7, it's going to hurt your opponent more than it's going to hurt you. Most of the time. Because most of the time you're going to go for this. You're going to already have a mass, you're going to either have this big guy on the field, or you're going to have a lot of things set up on the field already that they're running the silent guy out, so you can bring this out. And yes, it's negating your own spells, which, your Mass Change, your E-Calls, your Rhoda, your Call by the Grave, it hurts. It makes you a little bit more susceptible to hand traps. But it's going to hurt your opponent most of the time more than it's going to hurt you, because your deck you're probably going to always have a board already out of some sort if this is coming out. So you'll probably be in a okay position to a decent position. Originally, when I was trying to decide if I wanted to run Call by the Grave or not, I decided because of the way my deck functions to set up a board, you definitely want the 3 Call by the Grave in there. Depending upon your matchup, depending upon what you're facing, you can definitely take Call by the Grave out and run Rivalry of Warlords, because everything in your deck is warrior attribute. So, yay! Floodgates, right? We love floodgates in 2019, apparently. So yeah, we'll talk more about that when we get to like deck things you can run in the deck for fun. Side deck techs. Next up, 3 Silent Slash and 2 Foolish Burial Belongings. Now, why am I running Foolish Burial Belongings? It's for this card right here. So technically, you have 3 searchers. You have a bunch of searches to search for your Silent Swordsman, regular one. Like, so easy to search this out, because Silent Sword Slash, if this is sent to the graveyard, you can banish it. To banish it from the graveyard to search out Silent Swordsman. And so you can Foolish Burial Belongings it to the graveyard, banish it, search. Also, this is really good because this is a quick effect. So this is like another mini Honest type of card in the deck. That's why I love this deck. So many battle tricks. But this card states, target 1 Silent Swordsman monster you control. That monster you control gains 1,500 attack and defense, and if it does until the end of this turn, is unaffected by opponent's card effects. So, if they try to Widow Anchor you a second time, you can activate this. It's unaffected by card effects now. Yay! And then he's going to stay on the field and gain a 1,500 attack boost on top of that. Also, it's important to note this. The attack boost is permanent. So say he's at 15,000 attack, okay, on your opponent's turn. Well, he's going to gain another 15 additional attack if you activate this. He's unaffected by card effects this turn, so he's going to become, what, a 3,000 attacker, something like that? Ridiculous. And that's going to stay on the board. So when it comes back to your turn, he's going to be, I think, at 35,000 attack, 3,000 attack. Like I said, this guy can get big really, really fast. And this card works so well in the deck. It's the best spell card in the deck, hands down, for the versatile uses you can use it. But yeah, that's why you run these ratios of these cards right here. They're your Rhoda, they're more battle trap stuff. Next, we run 2 Scapegoats. Like I said, usually if you're going for the Silent Magician plays, you can do different things with those. You also have the Scapegoat, so you can go for Bull, Sword, put a whole bunch of damage on board and things of that nature. So double Scapegoat helps you go for a bunch of different link plays you can do with your deck. So I definitely like it in the deck. 1 Warrior Returning Alive. I just like this card in the deck. You can run Mass Charge, which allows you to add a Mass Change and a Masked Hero hero monster from your graveyard back to your hand. But I really like Warrior Returning Alive because it allows me to add back to my hand if I really need it in a pinch, my Silent Swordsman. So you can run this or run Mass Charge, but I just like the Warrior Returning Alive in the deck as a 1-of. And lastly, we run some 1-of spells. A Hero Lives, Monster Reborn, and Upstart Goblin for draw power. Next up, we run double Dark Law for the combos I was telling you about. The 1 Anki in the deck. 1 Divine Wind I run in the deck, but there's the other one which I am having a brain fart on of what the name is that came out a while ago. The other Wind Masked Hero card. You can run that as well if you want to. Oh, this one right here. Masked Hero Blast. You could run this if you wanted to, but I just prefer the Divine Hero because of the draw power. You can also, if you want to, tech in a Koga somewhere if you want to run Koga in the deck somehow. But you could definitely try this out with Divine Wind. It's up to you which one you want to run. For Stratos. 1 Diane. 1 Acid. And that's all for your hero plays. For your Link monsters, Link Spider, Link Karibo is really useful in this deck. Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, Bull Sword, and we run some rank 4s just in case, like Tornado Dragon for Floodgates, Bagasucha because he's Bagasucha, and Exciton Knight. If all else fails, just blow up the dang board. Now, like I was saying, there are different cards, side deck techs you could run in the deck that work very well with this deck. The deck, you could run different things. You could run a bunch of different hand traps in the deck, your side deck. But one of the cards that I really like in the side deck, and like I said, it depends upon your matchup, because some matchups it's going to be good, a lot of matchups it's going to be good, some matchups not so much, is if you run, where is it in my deck? Rivalry of Warlords. So if you want to run Rivalry of Warlords in your deck, you can go right ahead because just about everything in your extra deck is warriors. So all your main heroes are warriors. You know, you don't always need to go for the link play. All your main deck monsters, besides Honest, which is going to be in hand when you're activating it, and Nia, you know, is going to be in hand when you activate it, and Ash as well. They're hand traps. But everything you're going to be having on the board is warrior attribute, which is awesome. So that works out right there. So that's why you can side deck Rivalry to run it against certain matchups. I did want to mention that in the video, but I usually side deck it. You could main deck it if you want to, but it's up to you. The one card that really hurts this deck the most is Drill and Lock. So Drill and Lock and Goes in Match kind of hurts the deck. So if you wanted to, that's why I run the Tornado Dragon to help out Goes in Match if that's a problem. But the one thing you can do is if they ever Goes in Match you and you're having a hard time getting around Goes in Match, use the Light attribute. That's the main one you're going to be using, because Silent Swordsman can win you a lot. Just depending upon your situation, you're either going to go for the Light attribute or the one masked hero you're going to have on board if you're trying to play with Goes in Match and you're having a hard time getting around it. So you can definitely, if you're running against a heavy back row deck, you run your Twin Twisters, you run your things of that nature to get around Goes in Match. But Rivalry is your best friend in this deck. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the deck profile. Like I said, I really enjoy this deck. I've played it for a while now. It's really fun to play. People do not understand how it functions, how this deck works. They're going to be picking up your cards and reading them. A part of the deck they're going to understand, a part of the deck they're not going to fully understand. The Silent Swordsman and all the different hand traps and techs and battle tricks you're going to do. But it's a really fun deck to play. I would highly suggest you try it out. And until next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see all of you guys next time. Take care, everybody.